All right, been a while since we jumped on a podcast, a little video podcast. We're going to talk about how AJ's business has transformed. So if you remember probably like 2 months ago, I posted a video talking about being an entrepreneur and improving your friends' businesses or somebody you know's business with the knowledge that you learned, right? So if you've been a procrastinator for a really long time and you don't know what the fuck you've wanted to do, but you know everything about what it takes to be in a business and operate in a business, you need to take that, pitch that information to your friends who might not know, and then finally do the fucking work and you learn, holy shit, yes, it's harder than it actually seems, but action is way more important than theory and just thinking about it.
For sure.
So, jump right into it. What has been like the biggest changes for you in your business, like how we've improved it in the last 2 months?
Oof.
You can go anything.
So
mentality, systems, like
there's a lot of different things that have changed tremendously.
Mhm.
But probably the biggest thing is that it's a business, right?
Yeah.
So you brought this up probably on the last episode, that if you don't have like structure in place, it's a hobby.
Mhm.
And I feel like before you came in, although it was operation, right? It was operating, there wasn't a serious system behind everything. So like sometimes it's Monday. So it's like sometimes it might be a post about strength training and then another post about nutrition, but there wasn't an actual plan written down of exactly what was going to be discussed, what's the outcome of, that post. So with you coming on, it really, I would say the biggest thing is actually having a system, one, but then two, like understanding that, like, don't think like this is what you're supposed to do. Like, it's Monday, this goes out. It's Tuesday. Roadmaps.
Yeah.
So like, I think that is, structure is everything. Structure is everything. I think when you're kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, you don't even if it works, you don't even know why, because you just literally were throwing it at the wall. And I feel like now when there are like certain outcomes, or like, definitely have gotten a lot of feedback from people that are like, man, you're doing something like different. Like, I've noticed that, you're posting more. I love the testimonials.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably been the biggest thing that people have brought up, is just like actually hearing from the clients about their experiences and, what they've gotten from the training. Is like, this is totally different than what we had before. Never had testimonials up there. I think I've had like Google review screenshots,
which is also not bad.
Yeah, screenshots up, but like actually hearing it from them. Like, I have a client right now that actually said that one of the things that she really appreciated was that she was able to go to the page and see someone that looked like her that I worked with before, and she felt like, the gym intimidates her, but like she felt like more empowered seeing the fact that, seeing the testimonials and seeing that I've worked with, a wide range of clientele.
Yeah, and I'll speak to that. For background, AJ's been a coach for over 7 years. And this happens to a lot of coaches, and it's not his fault, but you don't know what you don't know. So you operate in a way that at the time you start, and you're like, what are other people doing? And you replicate those things, but you never improve on what you're doing. So a lot of people, because they're comfortable and they're not willing to be uncomfortable in certain circumstances, and the fear of failure slows them down and stops them, they don't know how to take that next step. And going from fully in person to online. Because I initially had asked you, I'm like, yo, like, why don't you go online?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it's like, your little answer was like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? Because if the information isn't clearly out there, or you don't know what to search, it can be really hard to take it to the next level. But here you are, 2 months later, going from a business that was operating realistically at like $600 a month is what AJ was making, and his expenses were $600 a month.
Sure.
So now increasing, realistically, like in like the last month was probably even stronger. You've like quadrupled that.
For sure.
Right? It's like
for sure.
2,400 really
Yeah.
I would say like monthly is like the average right now. If you're doing 1,000 in person and then 1 or 2 sales online for like 3-month packages at the rates, like even right there, you like literally quadruple your business.
Yeah, I mean, I think another big thing, in addition to what you brought online, is also the mentality, right? So, in being in business 7 years, one of the things that I had not done is ask for the sale for like people that I know. Haven't, it's in one of those things like they come around, but like actually saying, hey, Darian, this is my business. I would love it if you could recommend anyone, but also like just asking for the sale. And I think the biggest thing is like that comfort level of sales for me was like non-existent, because it's like, I don't want this person, like I don't want it getting weird, da 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 da. And one of the things that you brought was like, yo, this is why we're in business, right? Like you're offering, fitness to these individuals. Like, why would you not want to help more people?
100%.
And I think that the mentality is just totally different now. The mentality of like, even when I'm going to like boot camp, it's like, why wouldn't I ask this guy that's about to leave, like, hey, you thinking about, what are you doing after boot camp's over? Like, what's the plan?
They don't plan.
And I think that the biggest difference between ending this boot camp and ending the boot camp this coming Saturday is that I'm asking those questions, and like I allow it to get uncomfortably silent. So even if the answer is no, like, right now financially, da da da, like allowing them to say it, not giving them the answer, like not giving them the cop out. So, that's something I really thank you for, which is like just bringing that mentality of like, the more people you talk to, more than likely, the more customers you're going to be able to help out.
Outreach is kind of king when you have a small business. I mean, if you've been posting for 7 years consistently, people might have an idea that you're a coach, but a lot of people still don't. They just randomly see your post like, oh yeah, but if you've been posting consistently for like 7, 5, 3, even a year on Instagram, you most likely have anywhere from 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 followers. If you're posting per year, you probably have at least 300 followers. And a lot of times you haven't even talked to every single one of them.
That's true.
And when your business isn't that big, yes, you can double down on content and post 2, 3, 4 times a day, but a lot of times you have to like outreach, at least ask people. They followed you or followed your account or are still following you for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? So they're getting some type of value out of following you. And if they didn't, they would just unfollow you. Then okay, whatever, this person is not interested, right? Because they have followed you. But the people who are still following you every single day, especially once you start posting consistently Monday through Friday, or even every single day, there's a reason. So contact them, and you don't need to be annoying about it. You don't need to be like, buy. But it's like, do you need help with anything? Hey, I appreciate you supporting my page. Like, do you need help with anything? There's a lot of money in people's followers that they haven't even tapped into.
True.
Like, you had over 1,000 followers, and of course, yes, you have to also learn sales and get better at sales, but the only way that happens is if you talk to the people who you're following.
Yeah.
So
doing it until it gets boring.
Literally. Yes. Like, you should be bored in operating your business day to day because you're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing every single day. But it's like anything else when it comes to working out. You do the same workout, you see the same workouts, week to week, and you just do it a little bit harder, a little bit more intense, a little bit more, right?
Sure.
You increase weight a little bit more each week, and over time, you have this incredible transformation. So even nutrition, you stack the wins every single day, and over time, you have this huge transformation. And every single day, you're stacking mental wins, and over time, mentally, you have this huge win. So in life, if you just make more things, this is crazy. If you just make more things boring and do the same thing over and over and over again, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, where did you come from? This is like an overnight thing. Yesterday you were like this, but it's like, no, I've been doing this for 100 days. I've been doing this for 200 days. I've been doing this for 300 days. even for me, I just started working out. I started working out really again last August, like lifting weights. I
Okay.
was running, but like,
Okay.
I started lifting in last August. People are just noticing in like the last month. Like,
Got you.
Oh, like, and I was posting that I was working out all the time. Like, I was always like in the gym,
Yeah.
selfie, and people are just being like, "Oh shit, yo, you've been working out, man."
Yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker. My bad. I've been posting since October that I've been working out again.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in your business.
I think, I'm sure your followers know that you have like a wealth of knowledge on the sales side, right? So I think it's also important to like know where you're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
of like seeing how things work. I think a lot of times for myself, like not being in sales, like that getting comfortable with people telling you no. Like simple as that. Like getting comfortable with people giving you different excuses. But I think it all goes back to something that you say all the time, which is sticking to the script.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, they said this, come right here. This is what happens, you come here.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you have the answer, because most of the questions that I hit you up on, you're like, go to the script.
Yeah.
Go back to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the plan. I think like being able to simply go in and really like all of this is accounted for,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's nothing under the sun to where like we're doing it for the first time. It's like this is
100%.
exactly why the plan is in place. So like I think like one, bringing the plan, but like really understanding the plan, and then like really buying in, like this makes sense.
Right.
Like this really does make sense.
Lean into what your coach is teaching you. I would say the big thing is roadmaps. I'm someone that, and I reiterate this all the time, I believe in roadmaps. There's nothing that I do that hasn't been done by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm just gonna find that person, either pay for the services to learn from them, or spend hours and days or whatever, months on like YouTube or Google and learn, okay, what does this person do? What are people doing to get this end result? Collecting all that information, organizing it, and then just following the plan. And it all really begins. The first thing I always tell people and I want to install in people is like changing their mentality.
For sure.
Because it's all in the mindset. If you can't, first off, if you can't see it mentally, you're never going to get there
For
physically.
sure.
If you don't believe in yourself mentally, you're not going to do the work physically.
I agree with that 100%. I think going back on the profile, because like you gave life to the business. Simply put, you gave life to it. I got to see a lot of businesses that like are done, right? Like going back, there was like a few people like, oh yeah, they were doing this in like 2022 and they have not posted since. And I think for me, that hands down has been like a huge motivator, because it's like, wow, like it says something to like, they didn't have a system. They didn't have a daring, to kind of show them the way, because a lot of times it's not just what you're selling, because I feel like you can have a great product, but no one knows about it if
Right.
you're not asking for the sale, if you're not like providing value to your followers. Like, I mean, what do you really have? So I definitely appreciate you just like giving life to it, because there are so many businesses that are no longer because they did not follow the necessary steps. And even when you're following the steps, it's still hard, right?
No,
Like, so
yeah, you have to keep track of everything. And I think of everything in a lot of terms, in the terms of like a business or working out, like even talking to women, it's like all the same. How much of it are you doing? Are you being consistent about doing the same things over and over again? And are you keeping track of it, right? So like, let's go to the gym, for example. A lot of people will grab workouts off of Instagram and be like, oh, I like that, and then do it, and then next week they're doing something else, and then next week you ask them, they're like, yo, what are you doing in the gym?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm doing this and that. I just do what I like. And then you're like, oh, cool. Like, how are you tracking your workouts? And they're just like, oh, I just think about it from last week. I was story time. I was using a notebook. Like, I've been using a notebook in the gym for like 8 years.
Damn.
Whether I was like running or I just recently switched to an app. Like, I just recently stopped bringing my literally written workouts to the gym, as I like write in, okay, I did this much weight, this is how it felt. I just stopped doing that recently. and
Most
started using an
structured
app.
person I know.
Organization and roadmaps. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do something. Holy shit, this person knows how to do it. Hey, how are you doing that? And a lot of times it's like, okay, well, obviously their time is valuable. So if I have to pay you for you to teach me, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, here's money. How are you doing that? Okay, cool. This is how I'm doing it. And I'm like, now I just went from a state where it would have taken me 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 5 years, 10 years, to learn exactly what they're doing or what they did to get there. And now I know that on day one. On day one. And from day one, I can implement everything that they're doing.
Structure.
Roadmaps.
That's crazy.
Structure. Roadmaps, I mean, what is business, right? Business is, what is anything? It's like, so we'll start with business. Business is marketing, sales, fulfillment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What is working out, right? Like, working out is like the actual exercise, working out, nutrition, you know, and obviously recovery. Recovery or accountability. Like, but really, workout, nutrition, recovery is like the big three for working out.
For sure.
So.
For sure. I don't know. I think one of the, going back to mentality, I think one of the things that, you know, just being honest, that can be discouraging is when things aren't going your way, right? So like, I know for me, there have been times throughout the 7 years where it's like, man, this isn't going right, right? Or you have a clientele that's like going really well, and then people start to fall off. It's like, damn. And I think that the difference now, if I lost every single client I had, I think it's like, go back to the plan. Like, I have something. I think it's nice to have something to go back to when all else fails. And I think that that's why a lot of people go out of business. They're like, yo, this is too much, or, you know, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, as opposed to being like, okay, circle, where did I mess up, and then go back to the plan. And like, no, going back to something you said, which is like actually believing. I think when you came on, it was like, oh, like I actually like believe this can happen. Like, I really believe that if I can get, you know, this person to understand the value that we can bring, it's going to be great. So I think that, you know, that mentality switch was huge.
Right, especially when you're going online. A lot of people are like, how do I write plans? How do I keep them accountable? It's the same thing as in person. Here's the workout. And then check in once or twice a day. How's it going? How's your workouts going? How's your nutrition going? And then once a week, go really in depth. How are you feeling among all these things? Mentally, physically, sleeping, food-wise. Like, what are you struggling with? And then you help your client with that, right? And that's what you would do in person too. You would see them and you would just check on them. You'd be like, hey, how's, like, you're gonna hold them accountable, but like, how's everything else going? How are you feeling mentally? How is your nutrition? How did you feel about the workout today? It doesn't really change, because at the end of the day, science. At the end of the day, if you burn more calories than you are consuming, you'll lose weight.
Yep.
Right?
It's a fact. It's a scientific fact. One of the things that I appreciate you for, to give you some more flowers, is I think a lot of times if you're on Instagram and like you're scrolling through, you're like, everything looks complicated. Like, I gotta do this, I gotta have this production, I can't post this. Like, this isn't post worthy. Let me hold on to this. And like, you end up, if you're like myself, you have 50,000 pieces of content that you just don't post because you're like, that's not post worthy. And I think one thing that you did that was very helpful is like, you made things very simple. Like, take a step back, stop worrying about this person, stop worrying about that person. Like, this is your life. Like, how do you want to build this thing out? And like, keep it simple. Like, what do you do in the morning? Right? Like, you know, what do you consistently do every single morning? And then like the little small things, like, you know, thinking about what you're posting before you post. Like, I think sometimes, like, I, like many other people on Instagram, see something, post it.
Yeah.
See something, repost it.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 laughing. Oh, I definitely
Yeah.
reposting. And before you know it, you got 10 different things in your story that don't make any sense. It just kind of goes in all these different
It's just like random
ways, and it's
not
like
even you.
it's like, wait, like where's this coming from? And I think like really thinking about like the structure and like understanding like why are you posting this?
Yeah, what is it doing?
What's the point of this post?
Is it nurturing people? Is it helping people? The way, and you're hitting on some good topics. It's like everyone, not everyone, 99% of people are still consumers. Only 1% of the people on the internet actually make content. The rest, the 99% of other people, all consume. So if you're like, how do I start making content? What do I do? What do I say? Because you're seeing these huge productions online, like you're saying.
Yeah.
The biggest thing you can do is take out your phone, stop filming everything else, and turn the camera around and tell your story.
So
Literally, like, how did you get to where you are right now? And you went, and a lot of people are, oh, my story's not interesting, it's not good. But not even but, it's your perspective. And your story and life's, the whole entire story of life has never been told from your perspective. And
True.
soon you'll realize, like, holy shit, there are hundreds and thousands and millions of people that feel the exact same way. Influencers that have 100K followers, 200K, 300K followers, you're like, oh my god, like every single post gets 100,000 views or 20,000 views. And it's like, okay, there are people who have 1 million followers and their posts might get 20,000 views. So that's 2% of their following. So if you have 1,000, or let's say you have 10,000 followers and you get 200 views on a post or 300 or 400 views on a post, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Instagram's showing your post to exactly who needs to see it. And that's what's most important. The people who need to see your stuff, the way the algorithm's working, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, it's the people that are actually, so the people that are liking and commenting on those posts, even though they only have a few views, like, that's your target customer base.
I gotta also say, like, my wife always jokes about this with me, that like my mother is from St. Louis, so like the show me state of really just like seeing to believe it. And I'm one of those people that it's great to like talk my ear off about like this, that, and the other, but like something that everybody might not be able to get to see, like seeing you behind the scenes, he's the exact same person. Like,
Yeah.
So he has like all of this structure, but he like really follows it. So it's like sometimes like coming over here, it's like, oh, he like really does this. He really follows
The
this.
real deal.
And I think that when you see someone doing something, it's almost like paying for, like you were talking about with different people, like, but like show me. And like I've stopped watching, like as far as like game, like the NBA, March Madness was just going on. I did not know like all of the key players and like who's gonna be in the championship because it wasn't my focus.
You're the creator now. Which is
That like unlocked a whole big thing though. Because I'm one of those guys, just being honest, that like I constantly could tell you the stats of LeBron and what the Lakers have going on, and if we're thinking about sticking a trade, if we're picking up somebody off waivers, if we're doing this, if we're doing that. And like now I don't know what the point spread is tonight. And it's like the how much energy I spent on things that weren't making me any money, and it had no possibility to make me any money. Because I think there's a different part of, let's say I reach out to 50 people tonight and it nets $0. I still got experience doing it. I still got
experience
over
and exposure, because you don't know if those people are going to come back later. We actually just had some, like,
For sure.
It's stacks, right? What you do
For
now
sure.
pays you in 6 months. Like, we just had somebody that reached back out.
That's true.
And like, that's just one person, right? Over time, the more people you contact, the more conversations you have, the more chance you have of making money. Real quick.
Yeah.
We're probably going to shut down soon.
Okay.
Somebody
Yeah,
just came in
that's
the
all.
door.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay. So,
It's cool under the sun, man.
short one today, but the biggest thing is like turn the camera around, and if you have a business, outreach. This isn't the last time you're gonna hear from me, the last time you're gonna hear from AJ. We're still gonna be doing this big thing, but the biggest thing is like tap in, pay attention, and stay tuned. If you want to follow AJ on social media,
Jones Certified Fitness, all one word,
mhm,
and then AJ 26.2
for his personal account. And then you can always find me. All my socials are Darian J. Edwards. Same as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Peace.